How's it going, friends? Reckless Yuki here. Hopefully you're doing fantastic, and in this video I want to talk about our gaming peripherals and whether or not the gaming peripheral you choose to game on will improve your gaming performance. And this video is going to be more pertinent to the PC gamers out there, so if you're a console gamer watching this video, I do apologize, but this isn't really going to be the video for you, but please watch if you're interested. But if you are also curious on me making a video for this for the console gamers out there, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to make a run through as far as what I think and what I believe in when it comes to console gaming and what you'd want to invest in to maximize your console gaming performance. But anyways, for this video, we're going to be kind of focusing on monitors as well as mice. And with monitors, it's basically common knowledge to know that with a monitor, you want to make sure you get one with a really low input latency. The lower the better, especially for like Twitch-based shooters, fighting games, as well as racing games. And when it comes to the monitor selection out there, there's mainly either IPS monitors or TN panels. And TN panels in the past have been better for gaming because they have a lower response time as well as a lower input latency, where IPS monitors were better for some sort of graphics work or if you just want to have a superior video quality. Now, that's kind of changed over the years, and where IPS panels are now coming out that have, just as good input latency as TN panels, but the TN panels also have improved picture quality where they are getting better. Now, does a TN panel match an IPS? No. But there are also benefits of a TN panel over an IPS, where mainly not so much as the input latency, but more so with the response time, how it affects with ghosting. So if you are still a gamer, I would recommend a TN panel. But if you are someone who really values the picture quality above all else, then I'll recommend an IPS. But it's really up to your own personal preference. I prefer TN panels, but that's just due to my preference. But in this video, what we're going to mainly focus on is 144 hertz versus 60 hertz. And the way that I'll be testing it is I'll be using my BenQ XL2420g gaming monitor. It's basically a 1080p 24-inch 144 hertz G-Sync monitor that I'll be using. And as far as the mice I'll be using, I'll be testing a Logitech G502 Proteus Core against a Logitech MX Master. Now, the Logitech G502 is a phenomenal gaming mouse. Now, is it the best out there? Who's to say? Because, I mean, it's all up to personal preference. And as far as my opinion from what I personally tested, the G502 is the best mouse I ever used for first-person shooters. Now, as far as the MX Master, I would say that the MX Master is a very nice power user mouse, but it is definitely not orientated for gaming, especially if you are planning on playing any sort of game that requires fast precision movements. So for this test, what I basically used as a medium is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And before you start hating on me because I use this as a medium, I know that there's other better competitive games out there if you are the person who doesn't like Call of Duty. But the reason why I pick Call of Duty is because it's a game that I'm good at, that I could run around like an idiot and get like really good gameplay. I'm not the best in the world by any means, but I'm able to do decently well at the game, and it's a game I'm very comfortable with, as well as the game modes on there allow me to run around and basically try to get as many engagements as possible to test whether or not the peripherals are being effective at improving my gameplay. And the game mode that I chose to play is Hardcore Team Deathmatch. And the reason I chose this game mode is because it's a game mode that requires you to basically have fast reactions, and it really rewards whoever's able to aim on the other person the fastest. And I felt that this would be very pertinent for these two peripherals because these peripherals have to do with how fast you're able to react to the other people on the screen. So I thought it was a good test medium. Now, as far as how to test it, I picked the same class every time. I didn't change the class whatsoever, so that was a constant. And as well as I tried to stay in the same lobby, but just change the settings as well as change the mouse, so that I'll be hopefully competing against the same people each time. But I couldn't really control that because as people came, they also left. As I was doing really well, people didn't want to play against me anymore, so they left. But then we got new people, and then also the opposing players, it was really determined on whether or not they were camping or not camping, as well as the maps. The maps were different, so there was some things I didn't have control over, but I tried to keep it as controlled as possible. And so for the first game, I basically used my 144 hertz as well as my Logitech G502. And this game, I played 3 rounds just to make sure I was able to get a good, accurate number representation as far as how well I was able to do. And so the first round, I got a 35-7 kill death, and that led me to a 5.0 kill death ratio, 21-14 with a 1.5. And the final game, which is the gameplay you're seeing right now, is a 38-7 with a 5.43 kill to death ratio. And that led me, if I combine all the kill death ratios, to a 3.36. So not too bad, and that's with, like I said, the 144 hertz and the G502 gaming mouse. Now, when I swapped out the mouse to the MX Master, so I basically kept the monitor at 144 hertz, and I swapped out to the MX Master. And the importance of this test is the G502 is it has a polling rate of 1,000 hertz. So out of every second that goes by, the mouse is talking to the computer 1,000 times, leading it to a 1 millisecond input latency. Whereas the MX Master has a polling rate of 125 hertz, and that gives it a input latency of 8 megahertz of 8 milliseconds. And so that is a significant amount of difference, as well as the MX Master was connected to my computer over Bluetooth, while the Proteus G502 mouse was connected through the wire. And with this setup, with 144 hertz and the MX Master, my kill death ratio dropped from 3.36 down to 1.19, and that was out of the 3 games. So I next switched it up to basically use the G502 again, but I switched the monitor down to 60 hertz and played with basically a 60 hertz monitor, and my gameplay rose from the 1.19 to the 1.67. But then when I switched to the 60 hertz monitor as well as the MX Master, my game was a 1.14. So again, those numbers was a 3.36 for everything. With the MX Master, it's 1.19. With the 60 frames per second, it was 1.67. And then with everything included, the 60 hertz as well as the MX Master was 1.14. And now for the fun of it, and also to kind of keep this control, I went back to using 144 hertz as well as my G502, mainly because at this point people have came and left enough where it changed the medium or the control group I was facing against. So I decided to play again with everything, and I had a 2.19 kill death ratio. So that wasn't as good as the 3.36, but that was still fairly good. And the best game I got with that was basically a 28-7. So that was still a 4.0. So I feel that the 144 hertz monitor with the gaming mouse is definitely a superior performer than with just a 60 hertz or even the MX Master. And one thing I do notice that I can definitely say now that I've done this test is I could tell the difference between 60 hertz and 144 hertz. I know there's a lot of people out there who will claim that there is no difference and you can't tell and it doesn't help with gaming. But for me, doing this test and seeing these numbers in front of me, 144 hertz monitor does greatly improve your gaming performance, as well as the mouse that you use. Now, the mice that I used were severely contradicting each other. Any gaming or gaming oriented mice out there will improve or help you game, but some will give you a little bit of advantage. But with the way that I set up with the testing out the G502 against the MX Master, the MX Master was a huge handicap when trying to game. And one thing I noticed with the 125 hertz polling rate is that as I moved the mouse around at 144 hertz monitor, it was very laggy from what the mouse was doing. I could almost see steps, whereas when I was using the G502, everything was smooth, fluid and smooth. So that was also something very interesting to me with this game and the way that I was gaming. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. For me, I think 144 hertz monitor is definitely worth the investment if you can afford it, as well as a G502 gaming mouse or any kind of pro gaming mouse out there. I would stick away from laser gaming mouse because they have what's known as acceleration, that depending on the speed you move your mouse, it will change how far the mouse cursor will move. And that's basically what acceleration is, where an optical gaming mouse doesn't have any acceleration as long as it's a quality sensor. And the G502 does have a quality sensor. Now, other notable mentions out there are mice from Myonix, as well as a mouse called Final Mouse. But I personally never used them, so I can't say, but those are other notable mentions to basically recommend to you guys if you are interested in a new gaming mouse. But for me, it's definitely the Logitech G502. And the monitor that I was using once again was a BenQ XL2420g. If you're curious about the peripherals that I used in this video, I'll have links in the comment section or in the description down below. Be sure to let me know what you think of this video, whether or not you thought my test was good or not, whether you think you either agree with me or disagree with me, and definitely share it with a friend. If you enjoy this video, please do share it around to not only help your friends out, but also help me out. I would greatly appreciate it. But anyways, that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys again in the next video, all right? Bye-bye.